when you think about the question that I want to know is, how did the name Needmore come about? What was Need? How did they get that name?
Well, Needmo has had that name from the beginning of time, you know, and people, people from, if you remember the song about the quickest way to get to Harlem, take the A train,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So people migrated to Needmo and worked on campus. They worked on the railroad. The GM&O Railroad was coming through at that time. So people, uh, nobody knows exactly where the name come from, but some say it was because we needed Mo all the time, you know. But anyway, it had that name ever since I've been here.
Mm-hmm.
It had that need Mo,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just trying to keep it alive,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep the name Need Mo. And you see, little odd names like that stick out, like Possum Town, Need Mo, you know, and stuff like that.
Sunset. Right.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah, right,
Right.
yeah. Okay.
Could you? So did you said people came to Needmore from like surrounding areas and everything? Were they
Yeah,
primarily coming from rural areas and rural counties
yeah,
around the
all over the
area?
county, yeah. And to work on the railroad and to work at the university. And see, we had the Baldwin plant, they was
Mm.
pretty good. And we had the mill, the cotton mill up here. Those were our biggest industries we had back in those days, yeah.
And your family came from Chapel Ridge,
Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill,
Chapel Hill.
Mississippi, yeah. That's where my family came from.
But that's still in Tibahaw County.
That's in October. That's just a
It's just
community in
right.
the county.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about the all of the new stuff we see?
All that's
All of
still that's
that growth.
yeah, all
How
that.
did that all come about? Like, how did they just take? How did they get the land to do all that?
Well, we had it was urban renewal was probably basically responsible for a lot of that. See, we had the white people on this side at the cotton mill, and the black people we were in this area,
Mm-hmm.
and so when urban renewal came through, they had to figure out how to remodel and how to rebuild, and so we had a kind of white plight that the people on the Mill Hill was able to buy houses that the whites was moving out in the, suburban, and they were able to sell the people on the Mill Hill those kind of houses, but they didn't have nowhere for us to go, and so by and large, the people, the money was good, so the people took the money, and run, or whatever, or build somewhere else. And all of this, we had a lot of town hall battles over how in this particular area we won the battle.
Mm.
You see, we won this battle.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed with it, And Joanne was one of the one. Joanne was working out of Washington for some program,
Mm-hmm.
and she was very responsive in helping us, to
Right.
get it through, But we had the we had we had the city. We were so hot with the city at one time that they asked for a cooling off period. You see, and so
Really?
during the cooling off period, they were able to sell these houses to satisfy the white people because the others was moving out. You see, and and so our people, more or less, the ones who didn't stay, took the money. You know, and that's pretty much what it was.
Okay.
You either take the money or stay here and suffer the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And so we stayed here. We didn't go nowhere.
Right.
Yeah, we
Who was the mayor?
back then. Whew, I'd have to think about that. That's been some time ago. I'd have to think about who was the
What did
man.
the you said there were town hall battles, and this is part of how this part of the area that they were targeting for redevelopment people like stayed. What did those battles look like?
Wait a
What were
minute,
they over?
I can't understand you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What were the town hall battles about? What specifically were people
Oh, well,
like fighting for?
well, fighting to try to keep their homes, and you had to upgrade your home or sell. And most of the homes need upgrading. You see, you either upgrade it or sell. You know, and so my house and my brother's house, and there was one other house, uh, was the only 3 houses in the community that was standard. And all the other, because we down the street here, we had a lot of shotgun tenant houses, and naturally they had to go, you know. But we had a few people who stayed the course, but most people didn't have anything, so they took the money. And,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
that made sense. I get a little something out of it, because the houses, they were living in houses that they did the best they could to make them, livable, because look, back in those days, minimum wages was about 65 cents an hour. You see what I'm saying? You weren't making a lot of money. You
Right.
couldn't do a whole lot. So it was choices, Yeah, but we fought them too, and we didn't go nowhere.
And for people who faced the demand to upgrade,
Yeah,
like it wasn't as if the city was saying you can have this money to upgrade. It was like you can have this money to get out, but not to. They
yeah,
weren't providing money for the upgrades. Were
yeah, yeah.
they?
Well, if you was, you could upgrade and take the money, but then most people didn't have enough.
Okay.
You see, they didn't have enough to go with it.
Yeah.
Wasn't enough to go after they did that to do a whole lot. So they just took the money and run. You see, and because we had a beautiful community with what it was. We had a beautiful community. Everybody knew everybody. If kids did bad things, I'm gonna tell your folks, or they'll spank your tail themselves. You know better than that, boy. And we had a close. In my personal opinion, uh, we gained a better looking community, but we lost the real community. With culture, we didn't have much, but we had a lot of culture here.
Could you maybe talk a bit about what the culture was in Needmore? What the
Well,
things?
just like I said a few minutes ago, everybody knew everybody.
Mm,
Everybody took care of everybody. Didn't nobody have a whole lot of nothing, but it was community,
You shared.
you shared. And that, from that sense, that's what was taken away from us, our community. Everybody, man, nobody had nothing, but everybody was happy. And then, in order to try to make things better, this was a big thing at that time. It made it better, and it made it worse. Twofold situation. We could, if you would ask the question, did we gain more, or did we lose more? And it would be my opinion that we lost more. You see, that would be my opinion, because we lost all our culture. You know what I mean? Yeah, we were beautiful, and on that little marquee sign I got out there, I got a cousin of mine. What I want to do with the marquee sign is, from this area, we had educators of every sort. doctors, lawyers, nurses, teachers. We had them all came out of this little community as it was. And so what I want to do with my little board out there, maybe three people a week put their names out there of their achievements, like PhDs, BSs, masters, and even on, my board ain't big enough, even on down who was the top cook at the college. You know what I'm saying?
Business owners.
You see, in a sense, all of that was destroyed, but I want to, kind of keep that history alive, of what we had. Yeah. Just like me and my wife, what we use as a slogan, what we had the most, that's what we used for our theme on our 50. What we had the most was each other. That was our theme for the 50th anniversary. We didn't have a lot, but we had each other. So, as I look back, I can say we look better, but, we had a culture. It wasn't the prettiest thing you ever saw, but it was beautiful, Okay? Is that pretty good?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, okay.
So one thing that we've been talking about in the program is about food, and food is a part of culture. So could you talk a bit about food and need more? Like what did you grow up eating, and what
Food?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Oh man, good saga molasses and eggs and you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah, rice and grits, staples.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we grew up off of, man. Yeah,
Did
good,
y'all garden?
good. Oh yes, everybody had a garden. Yeah, man we had everything in that garden. Everybody had a garden. So that was the community part. You see, if you need to trade some squash for some tomatoes, you could do that. Yeah, we didn't know what we really had until we lost it. You see, yeah. We had a community. That's what we had. Above all, we had community, and it was love in there. You had everything in it. You had of course, there's no community without having a little alcohol here, a little alcohol there. People were making a living the best way they knew how. Yeah, had to hustle here, had to feed the children. Yeah, that's just the way it was. They did little hustles and stuff, to make it possible for their children and educated them. Man, we had so many educated people come out of Needmo, man. That's what I wanted to use that little sign for, to put their names on it. But I got to figure out, because there's too many of them. Doctors, nurses, teachers. I had 3 sisters down there. 2 of them went to Tuskegee, and the other one went to Stillman. And 2 of them were nurses, and the other one was school teacher. And during that time, when they got the little education, they had to move, had to go somewhere. So my 3 sisters moved to New York. Yeah, and went to Harlem. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Y'all don't remember that. That's the quickest way to get to Harlem. Take the A train. Yeah, take the A train. Yeah, and so 2 of them are dead after retirement, and my oldest sister, she's 96 years old. She was a nurse. She went to Stillman over here in Tuscaloosa. Yeah, and when we back in those days, in the 40s and stuff, when she had to go to school, the trailway, when she rode the bus, there's a little section in the back of the bus, 3 or 4 seats, and if it was too many people, that tried to get in that little black section, you had to wait for the next bus. It may be 4 or 5 up front. You see, they didn't move the rails up; they stayed where they were, and we had to fit in where we could get in. Yeah, it was, but we did it, and then in the two, and let's see, one went to Tuskegee. She was a nurse, and the other one was a school teacher, and the one went to Stillman. She's still living. Got her nursing from Stillman College over there, Yeah.
Is she still in New York?
Still in New York. Left and been in New York all of those years. Yeah. And mine is still pretty good, 96 years old or something like that. Yeah. But that's what people had to do. This was a kind of melting pot for people to come in and get a job and work till they could do better, and they moved on, you see. This is kind of melting pot for people to come, need more,
Well, what was Mississippi State? Did you ever go to campus? Did you ever deal with campus? Because this community is so close to the campus. What was your relationship with the campus?
Well, you see, because we had the shoe shine business, and the campus was good support to our business. People back in those days, men wore suits and neckties, and they got their shoes shine. They were well dressed, and so we had a good business. I started shining shoes 15 cents a shine. There's a 12-step program, and I had to shine 7 pair of shoes to make $1. This is my nephew here, Victor Conwell Evans.
Hello there, sir.
Hey, how y'all are doing?
We is fine.
Yeah.
We need some history. You busy?
Yeah, I got some people over here interviewing me now. What is this?
Okay.
What is this program?
Cultural Research and Engagement Fellows Program.
Okay, well, you go ahead and do the interview. We'll get back with you later.
Okay, all right, okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. See, they searching for history too.
You're the
I
guy.
told them they better hurry up and ask me, because I'm getting in the twilight zone. Memory still good for my age, but they better get all this history now, you see, because when I'm gone, boy, it's gonna be a lot of history gone. And see, me and Jerry, I collaborated with him on that book, and it's a good book. Nice little read, Yeah, nice little read. Yeah.
I read that book and I learned so much. I learned more in that book about Mississippi State and Starkville and this community than I did from everything else I've read.
Yeah. Well, you see, Mississippi State is where people lived here and walked out. They didn't have no other way but to walk to work. They walked out there every day and come back every day. And they lived in this area, you see. Yeah, so, and this is neat, Mo. And I don't want to lose that flavor, It might sound odd and obscured, but it is what it is. It's neat, Mo, to me, I'm proud of it, you see. Yeah.
Well, this is like the heart of Starkville.
Yeah, that's
like
right. Right in the heart of it, yeah.
So here's what I remember about this community. I was a student here in 1993,
Okay.
and on the corner where Chick-fil-A is was the Burger King,
Yeah.
and then there was a movie theater behind it.
Yes, it was.
And I remember that Joanne, her mother's house was somewhere.
Yeah, right in that area.
Yeah, that was
close, close,
very close,
very close.
So,
yeah.
And I always knew that there was something about this community that people were connected, like they were really close.
That's right.
Very close knit.
That's
Different
right.
from other parts of town.
Yeah.
But it was just something about this part of town.
This always had it, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. And we, you know, we had to fight to keep it.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah. But we did it, and we still here. You see.
Right.
Yeah, it's worth the fight. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Were there a lot of black-owned businesses in this community?
Oh my gracious. We had Joanne's father had a cafe, and he started his business by barbecuing, selling barbecue out of his car.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where he started, selling barbecue out of his car.
I'd always heard that he could barbecue.
Oh yeah,
Really
oh he had
Wow.
good barbecue.
Okay.
Yeah, and the story how I met my wife. See, Joanne's daddy was her uncle, and she worked in the cafe. He had a cafe right across the street from the Shine Parlor, and I would go there to eat every day. And I kind of got them those squinky eyes on her, you know, got her attention, you know what I'm saying? And Uncle Bud, he caught on to this, you know, and she was very bashful, you know, kind of very bashful. And so when he caught on to it, he started teasing her about it, you know. And so she wouldn't come out there and wait on the tables when I come in. She stayed back there in the kitchen, you know. And so that's how I tell everybody when we met, our eyes did. Uh-oh. You hooked, buddy. She hooked and I'm hooked. And I call that love at first sight. Yeah.
You were 18 when you met her?
Yeah, right out of high school. We didn't know which way to go, what to do. And, you know, back then you had to be academically smart to get a scholarship anywhere. You had to be athletically inclined. She weighed 100 and I weighed 110. So you can see and you can still see where there was no academics, you know. So we just got together and said we'll work hard. And that's what we did. Sometimes she made $15 a week in the house. You know, when she got up to 25, that was a lot of money. I was making $25, $30 a week shining shoes. And when we built this house, you know, that was a carport. That was the original carport, that room right there. And I had come out of the Army and built a house, had a house and a carport, and had never learned how to drive a car. We didn't have none. I rode my bicycle and parked it in there like I had a car.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, ain't that we come a long way. Yeah, I had a house and a carport and a bicycle. Didn't even know how to. Been in the Army 2 years. I ain't drove nothing before I went in. Didn't drive nothing while I was in. When I come out, but you know, the way was made. You know, we were 22 years old when we moved in this house. Yeah, yeah, we were 22 years old, stepping out on faith.
Right.
Shining shoes. Yeah.
So I saw that back in, I don't know if that building is still here, but there was a church down the street on the corner, and then across the way there was a church from the Needmore Community Center.
Yeah.
Were those the only two churches in the community?
It's one up on this corner, there's one on that corner, there's one on, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We had at least four over here.
Okay.
in this area. We have at least 4 churches. Yeah, 3 of them. One, 3 of them are still. 2 of them is 3 of them. 3 of them are still going.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 of them are still going. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And we had the Gillespie Street Center, and I was fortunate enough to get the name changed to the Nemo Center.
Mhm.
Yeah. I had some good people at City Hall, in the partnership. That's what I was trying to think. They helped me really good.
Good.
Yeah, in trying to, make these things happen. So.
You've made sure to helped erect the sign, the marker, the Needmore marker, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you've been really pushing to make sure that name is written in the landscape, that the name is there, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
And the park is named after.
my daddy,
Wow.
who lived right across the street on that.
Wow. Did you see that sign that
I
said
did.
George Evans?
Yeah, George Evans. That's my daddy.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've been doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other ways that people made a living or got by in the Needmore community?
Shoot, people wash clothes. Took in washing. They worked in the kitchens. They worked on campus in the colleges and cleaning the buildings. That's the way they made a living. You see, they worked at the cotton mill. Just basic jobs and worked hard. You see, and man, educators. We got them from Needmo. I was trying to figure out a way how to put it out there.
Mhm.
How many doctors, how many PhDs, how many, all the way down. At our church, I did the Black History program for about 25 years, and I think my last 3 years of doing it, I did First Blacks, and gave them a certificate for being a First Black, And for 3 years I had, and it's still good today, First Blacks.
Yes.
We're still coming as
Right,
First Blacks,
right.
That ain't never end, you know what I mean?
2021.
Yeah, still coming as First Black.
Right.
So I started that program and did it for 3 years, you see. Yeah, whatever program I did it for 3 years in order to cover everything, Yeah, yeah, so just been a blessed old man, that's all I can tell y'all. That's the best I can tell you now. And the best is yet to come.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Anything else?
Well, I have tons of questions, but we can, we don't have to. We can always maybe have a second conversation if you're open to that.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I know you got a full bag right now, huh? You gotta condense it a little bit, huh?
We're certainly gonna make sure you get a copy of the video.
Oh, we sure will.
Yeah, y'all, I love that. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because sometimes the last big crowd was over here was from landscape. They came over here and did a lot of painting. I have few people. It's been 10 years, and most people hadn't seen it,
Right.
but still a lot of people want to see it.
Right.
You see, yeah, and I hope I can be here to show it to them. Yeah, and some people find it exciting, find it different, but it's just a beautiful love story to me, and I want to tell the story.
So many people don't tell their story.
Yeah, that's right.
You're doing it.
And it's like it was in 16 that we was out in Hollywood, and a lot of people probably come home and that's the end of it, but that was just the beginning.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I hadn't kept doing what I was doing, y'all wouldn't been here today, right? Yeah, you got to keep on doing what you do. You see,
You've been here for 66 years in this house. That's
Wow.
long time, isn't it?
66
Oh.
years.
This is a well-built home.
As old folks say, rat chimp.
I
Yeah,
haven't heard that one in a minute.
yeah. I like to do that stuff, that old stuff, It was a part of it,
Right.
It was a part of what we did,
Right.
of what we said,
Right.
or how we learned it,
Culture. That's
Culture.
That's right.
That's what it is to me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people get on me about using it, I'm sorry. I got to use it,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
This here right here. You know what I'm saying? Now y'all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And people can't imagine how often they use these terms and not even conscious of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Y'all do this, y'all do that,
Right.
And
It's a part of who we are, the way we talk.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. People's not even conscious of how much.
Right.
And I just try to keep the expressions going,
Right. Right.
Some people tell me it's old-fashioned and outdated and all like that, but I'm sorry. I don't see it that way. It's part of your culture, you see? That's the way I see it. And I'm gonna do it,
Right.
Yeah. Y'all come back to see us, you hear? Yeah, I can come up with them, because that's what I heard coming up. Yeah, yeah. This neighbor down the street, they say she lived across the street when I was 4 or 5 years old. And they used to wash the clothes in them big black pots and hang them on the line on the outside. So the neighbors would be talking across the fence, you see. So this lady, she would ask me, Lala, how you doing? And I said, I'm doing very well. Like I was 90 years old. I'm doing very well, And we laughed about that till she died. Yes, I was serious. I'm doing very well, Yeah. Let me tell you, I'm gonna let y'all go. I know y'all got to do other things. I was out to my aunt's house, and we had back in those days, you had to say a verse before you ate. Everybody said a verse, And I said this verse off of what I thought I heard, And the verse went, "Blessed are the pure in heart, so we shall see God." And I thought they said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, so we shall take a cigar." I'd been saying it for years. And my aunt say, "Boy, what you said?" And I said it loud and clear. "Boy, that ain't what that say." I thought they said you're gonna take a cigar. So you listen for what you hear, you see. And you did a lot of that back in those days, Yeah. Yes, Lord.
May I ask, how did you get the name Lala?
Nobody knows.
Okay.
It's just been with me all my life.
Okay.
Nobody knows where it came from, but I've had it. When I first went to the post office, this lady, I was on Main Street, and this lady, she was trying to be proper, She had a letter she wanted to give me to mail, And she was walking behind me, Charles. She said she walked behind me about a half a block. And she said, Lala, ma'am. No, nothing about no Charles.
That's your government name.
Just call me who I am. I'm Lala. Because I ain't got the ooh no more, but I'm still Lala.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. life has been beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah, little old shoe shine boy, and be able to sit down and talk with y'all and tell this kind of story,
Yes, sir.
it's beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Make life worth living.
Mhm.
Yeah. This is an old blues song. What am I living for if not for you? See, what am I living for
Right.
if it's not for you or not for the things I do?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? What am I living? Yeah.
You can sing. You have a beautiful voice.
Honey, I can tell you one about that one too. It's 'cause I got a cold.
Okay.
I was on the male choir, at church, and and the lady at Freddie Norwood, she was the pianist, and she was trying to find everybody's key. And I knew I was the worst key she was gonna ever find. So every time she'd get close to me, I'd move down on the other side so she wouldn't have to ask me. And when she got through, she hadn't forgotten me. She said, Lala, I ain't got you. I said, oh, Lord. And she said, give me yours, Lala. I gave it to her, and she said, give it to me again. I gave it. It was different. Gave it to her again. It was different. She said, Lala, I tell you what, you just home. I said, well, I know that all the time. Boy, yeah. Yeah, yes, Lord. Life is beautiful. I can't keep the same tone or the same pitch. I can't do it. My two sons got lovely. They said my mother had a lovely voice. Yeah, but I just can't hold the same thing. Yeah, I say, well, I tell them that I say I'm gonna do a solo next time, y'all. And they said, you are? Yeah, but it's gonna be down by the riverside. Yeah, I'll be down there by myself. Let whatever come out. Let it be, let it be.
It's a joyful noise.
Yeah. No, I could never hold a tune. No, no. But
Wow.
somehow during my early days, see, back in the early days, before video and TV and all that stuff, every year at the end of the school year, uh, every class, 1 through 12, would have a night for a program to close the school year out. I don't know if they still do that. They don't do that now. But from first grade through sixth grade, for some reason, I had a leading role for first grade to sixth grade. And I wasn't one of the smart students, but somebody saw some talent somewhere. And I had a leading role for the first 6 years. Yeah. When you get to 7th, 8th grade, back in those days, you start passing the classes, but before that, you stayed in the same room, and all like that. So I just been blessed. I don't know. Didn't have much or nothing, but what I had,
Right.
Yeah. And me and my wife, we were smooth dancers, you see. Yeah. My dad, he and the sweet part about this is my wife couldn't dance when we first got married. And I had a first cousin with my dad's band. We were like 5 and 6 years old, little dwarfs, and we'll follow the band, and we'll dance to the music, and we get tips, nickels, dimes, and quarters. Quarters was a big thing then. And me and my cousin, we made more money off tips than they made playing the music. People tip them little niggas shit. Give them a dime.
Right. Right.
We cleaned up.
Right. Right.
because we were cute. You know, they like to see little black kids dance anyway. You know, back in that day, that was just the way of life. You know, yeah. So we made money back then. You know, had talent. All these shows about having talent and all that stuff.
Right.
That was the way we showed it. But everybody, and then see my wife, she didn't know for 4 or 5 years around here. We only thing we had was Friday and Saturday night dancing. You know, we'd go dancing, and so when we go dancing, she's a very sweet lady. She'd just sit in the corner, and I just swinging them honeys. You know, I could swing any of them. You know, and so about 5 or 6 years later, she she said, you know what? She said, you gonna teach me how to do that. And I said, okay. And I taught her, you know, and we become the most smoothest two dancers because I taught her, you see. And but the catch to that was when we go dancing, for a while I could dance with my cousins and family. And that after a while that wore down to just me and her, you know. And so we use the term later that when we go dancing, as it turned out, we went to get down. We didn't go to sit down, you know, because people, you know, they sit down and they had to have a drink here and a drink there. And me and my wife, we never had a beer. Not even a beer in our life. Lived a whole life without alcohol in it, you know. And so that way, people behave high. They had to go sit down.
Right.
But we didn't never have to sit down, you know. And ladies, you can't dance with nobody but your wife, you know. And then sometimes I go get them. I can't dance with you, you know. But they wanted to try anyway, you know. But I'll be talking y'all all day. Yeah. Had such an interesting life, you know, beautiful. Yep.
We don't want to take more of your time this evening. You've already been so generous
Right.
with your time and with us. Showing us
You
around and telling us
stop. Hey, go on now. You fooling me now. You trying go on now. You trying to fool me now.
I need to go get me some water because I'm.
Some water?
Yes, sir. I'm getting ready.
Okay.
My throat is getting a little
Okay.
scratchy. Oh, I'll go buy some. What about some
Now,
tea?
let me see if I got some cold. I don't know. Does it have to be cold?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. It doesn't.
Okay. I took some out there for us to drink out there, but
No, it's okay.
yeah. Okay. Let me get you one.